Some compliments make people smile. Others stay with them for years. The difference isn't how clever the words are. It's how deeply they make someone feel understood. Most men think attraction comes from saying the perfect line. It doesn't. Real attraction grows when your words reveal character, confidence, and emotional awareness. The right compliment isn't about chasing approval. It's about recognizing something meaningful that most people overlook. And that's exactly why these 8 compliments have such a powerful impact. The first one is surprisingly simple. Yet almost nobody says it. I admire how you stay true to yourself. Beauty gets noticed every day. Authenticity doesn't. A woman who hears this realizes you're paying attention to who she is, not just how she looks. Imagine she's standing firm on an opinion while everyone else disagrees. Instead of arguing or trying to impress her, you calmly say, I really admire how you stay true to yourself. That moment changes the conversation. She feels respected instead of judged. And respect is one of the strongest foundations of attraction. Now here's where most men make a mistake. They compliment appearance first. Looks matter. But looks alone never create a lasting emotional connection. Instead, notice something deeper. That leads us to the second compliment. You make people feel comfortable. This is rare. Many people spend their lives wondering how they make others feel. When you recognize warmth, kindness, or emotional intelligence, your words become memorable. Maybe she checks on friends without being asked. Maybe strangers naturally open up to her. You notice it. And you say, you have a way of making people feel comfortable around you. Suddenly, your compliment becomes personal. Specific. Authentic. And authenticity always carries more weight than exaggeration. Now think about this. Confidence attracts attention. But emotional safety builds connection. That's why the next compliment matters even more. I respect your discipline. Discipline isn't glamorous. But it's attractive. Maybe she consistently works toward her goals. Maybe she exercises regularly. Maybe she keeps promises even when life gets difficult. Instead of saying she's impressive, tell her exactly what stands out. I respect how disciplined you are. That single sentence acknowledges effort. Not luck. Not talent. Effort. People rarely hear appreciation for the work they do behind the scenes. And because of that, they'll remember the person who noticed. Here's something fascinating. People fall for those who make them feel genuinely seen. Not those who constantly seek attention. Which brings us to number 4. I always learn something when I talk to you. This compliment goes beyond attraction. It creates mutual respect. You're telling her she adds value to your life. Not because she's entertaining, but because she expands your perspective. Think about a conversation where she shares an interesting opinion or teaches you something new. Instead of pretending you already knew it, simply say, I always learn something when I talk to you. That level of humility signals confidence. Secure people aren't afraid to admit they learned something. Insecure people pretend they already knew everything. The difference is obvious. And attractive. But here's a compliment that many men completely overlook. You have incredible emotional strength. Life tests everyone. Some people complain. Others quietly keep moving forward. When you recognize resilience, you're acknowledging one of the most attractive qualities a person can have. Maybe she handled disappointment with grace. Maybe she stayed calm during a difficult season. Maybe she supported others while facing her own challenges. That's worth noticing. You have incredible emotional strength. Those words often mean more than any compliment about appearance ever could. Because they recognize the battles nobody else sees. Now let's pause for a second. Have you noticed something? None of these compliments sound rehearsed. None feel manipulative. That's the point. Real attraction doesn't come from tricks. It comes from sincerity. And the next compliment proves it. I love how passionate you are. Passion is contagious. Whether she talks about her career, family, music, travel, or a personal dream, genuine enthusiasm is magnetic. When someone lights up while speaking, pay attention. Then say, I love how passionate you are when you talk about that. You're not complimenting the topic. You're complimenting the energy. People remember those who encourage their dreams instead of ignoring them. Now here's where many conversations change forever. The seventh compliment isn't flashy. It's quiet. But incredibly powerful. I trust your judgment. Trust is earned. So when you express it honestly, it carries enormous emotional weight. You're saying her opinions matter. Her decisions matter. Her character matters. Imagine asking for advice and genuinely considering what she says. Then later telling her, I'm glad I listened. I really trust your judgment. That isn't just flattering. It's validating. Everyone wants to feel respected. Few people hear it spoken so directly. And finally, the eighth compliment. This one brings everything together. You inspire me to become better. Read that again. Not because she completed you. Not because you need her approval. Because seeing her qualities motivates you to grow. That's healthy attraction. Maybe her consistency inspires you to work harder. Maybe her optimism encourages you to stay positive. Maybe her courage reminds you to face your own fears. Tell her. You inspire me to become better. Those words create something much deeper than temporary excitement. They create mutual growth. And healthy relationships thrive when both people elevate each other. Here's the truth that many men never hear. The strongest compliments aren't about beauty. They're about identity. Anyone can say someone looks amazing. Very few people recognize integrity, discipline, resilience, kindness, wisdom, emotional strength. That's why meaningful compliments stand out. They're remembered long after ordinary conversations fade away. But there's one final lesson. Compliments only have power when they match reality. Don't invent qualities that aren't there. Don't force words hoping for a reaction. People sense insincerity almost immediately. Instead, become someone who genuinely observes others. Listen carefully. Pay attention. Notice effort. Recognize character. Speak honestly. Ironically, that's what makes your words unforgettable. Attraction isn't built through perfect lines. It's built through authentic moments. Because when your compliments come from observation instead of manipulation, they stop sounding like compliments. They become truth. And truth has a way of reaching people more deeply than charm ever will. So the next time you're tempted to say she's beautiful, pause for a moment. Look beyond appearances. Notice the qualities that define who she really is. Those are the compliments that build trust. Those are the compliments that create respect. And sometimes, those are the compliments that awaken attraction in a way looks alone never could. The men who leave the biggest impression aren't always the loudest. They aren't always the richest. And they aren't always the most handsome. They're the ones who make people feel genuinely understood. Become that man. Because real attraction begins where genuine appreciation starts.